has to do that. What's up, YouTube? Well, here soon, I'm not going to be posting anymore. I've said all I've needed to say, and the reality of the world, even though most of it is a delusional reality being pushed by demonic people, is pushing for us to stand like we should have, like the boomers should have, like the Gen Xers should have. See, if they would have paid attention and handled stuff way before internet and all that came out, we could have fixed this decades ago. And I know most of us didn't really believe that these people were this sick, but I mean, come on. If you really step back and look at where they got the ideas for some of these horror movies, or, you know, the fact that when I was growing up as a child, and I would always hear my mom talk about, she would really get all pissed off when she would talk about it, but smut films. It drove her insane. 8 millimeter taught us this. Uh, Gothica showed us this. Remember? If anybody remembers that movie. Sheriff and the therapist, right? Her husband. Or was he a judge? I think he was a therapist, wasn't he? No, she was a therapist. I think he was a judge or something like that. But anyway, um, people in high places is what it was showing you. People of authority are supposed to be. My point is, everything we do on the internet, everything we do on these platforms, they're making all this money. That's how they've become billionaires, and they've been able to manipulate the government into basically leaking all of our money for our country back to them. That's basically what they're doing. So basically, we've been nothing but a big cash cow, and every time we talk about this, and every time we do this, they're just sitting back laughing because they control everybody's bank account. Everybody's worried about money, but think about it. If you spend that money, who's it going back to anyway? Them. When it's sitting in your bank account, what are they doing? Timesing it by 10 times the dollar and using it. You see what I'm saying? Is anybody getting what I'm saying here? And what do we end up doing? We keep the same amount. We don't get like that. And we end up, going into debt because of all the things we want to do or have our, family enjoy. And they know this. That's why they do all the meetings to see how high they can jack the price. And, you know, you even hear the shark people, well, how much can we get for this? And blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? Everything's been basically the same thing Hillary Clinton's been doing. And uh, some people are going to get this, some people are not. It's basically circular reasoning, circular everything. They're just running you in circles. That's why everything feels like Groundhog's Day. That's also why they put labels to the day, time. All that stuff is distractions, you know. Yep. It's also designed to stress you out and cause more health problems. Yeah. And I know I've been saying this in a lot of my videos, but everything we've accepted is the deception that the Bible talks about. Everything we're going through right now is the four angels being released. It's also the the seven seals being broken. It is also Jacob's troubles, sorrows, pre-trib and trib. And I think we've already went through Jacob's troubles, sorrows, and we're either in pre-trib or trib because it's constant. So I'm pretty sure we're in trib. And I think I've said that before, but I'm going to say it again. Um, I am 100% serious. The only way to beat these guys is to do the opposite of what they set you up to do. And they know you're not going to do that because that's your easy Y road, right? Around Adam's curse, right? Right. We allowed them to make us lazy. Remember Wally when it showed all the futuristic people and they were all so heavy that they had to be floated around on chairs and all their bones had, separated because they were so heavy? That's exactly what they're doing to us. Basically, they're making us lazy, zombified, desensitized. And I think it's because they're trying to set us up to where we're easily going to accept all the great things, supposedly the great things that the Antichrist brings. And yeah, I do believe the Antichrist is already here. Obviously, we've accepted his system. So, but the problem is there's so many evil people in the world. Without knowing details, you don't know which one. And the man with a pitchfork and a red face knows that we know the details. So, it's going to be like where's Waldo? But basically, I got on to say that I know you all ain't gonna like this, but this is the only thing I can see that is gonna start doing something. And it's not really gonna do that much because, um, just like right now, every second they're still doing what they do, and there's ones that are worse. And I'm sorry, I only seen like partial of the pictures because most of it had a black on it, which thank God it did. Um, you got to be fucking kidding me. Now, see, even I was one that I've I've had to toughen up with mental and stomach and all that because of what I had to go through with my kids, my dogs, my grandmother. Because trust me, I went through a lot. Okay. No, it's not a competition. I'm just saying, for me and my experience in my life, it was a lot, for me to have to do all that. I'm not going to go into detail, but anybody that's ever been in the position I'm talking about or had to deal with a dead person, you know what I mean. And yeah, I've been handling everything really, really good until I started reading those stories and all that. And yeah, it's getting to me. I mean, it's not making me, you know, shut down. It's making me shake my head and stay focused. But same thing with my kids. Everything I noticed, it made me stay more focused, more focused, more focused. I guess because I feel so damn bad because I did try, just like with Jazz, I tried without physically attacking people and putting myself in prison. There was literally nothing I could have done. My hands were so freaking tied, it's not even funny. I know there's a lot of stories out here with some men, you know, saying that they've done these things and they didn't. I'm not one of them. I have proof of all the fighting. I've done it right here on the internet. Messed up part is I know the people that had a hand in it, and there was a lot. And she involved a lot too, so she could kind of like. I wish I could draw it up in a cartoon and show you, what her plan was by using all these people. She was hiding behind them, and that's why she picked my brother and his battle buddies, of course, military. It's actually where she stuck the truck when she gave it away, was behind the fence on an army base. You see what I mean? She's putting me in that catch 22 to piss people off at me and to piss me off at them. Yeah. Well, it's not the first time she's tried to have me set up and killed. Even her own uncle called me and told me that she was doing that. She was trying to get certain gangs and whatnot to do it for free. She was trying, you know what I mean. You know what a woman will do to get what she wants. Anything. Especially this woman, obviously. But yeah. And he told me it was on a video call. But he told me, he said, he's like, I got too much respect for you. And that's literally the words out of his mouth. I did not expect that. I mean, me and him's never had a problem. He's always seen me take care of his niece very well, by the way. And he said that to my face without me having to say anything. He came down here. Uh, Now, I don't know if he was just trying to manipulate, because I am so used to her family manipulating like that just to try and sucker you into a position where they can get you. I am used to that. Yes, and I have PTSD from that. Yes. But yeah, I'm used to that. So, uh, her one uncle, which he's a little bit more off his rocker, kind of like her mom is. Actually, I think her mom's worse than this one, but I mean, he's still got the same issues. I bought a van off of her aunt's husband. That uh, this uncle, her uncle-in-law, and her one aunt lived in this one house all together, and they had a cheap old van that he was going to sell to me. So I went down there and I bought it, and he's talking to me about the van, getting ready to hand me the keys and the title. Her uncle-in-law is talking to me about the van and getting ready to hand me the key. And Bub, sorry, but her other uncle, I'll just say Bub so you guys know, he was standing next to me, and he's like fucking 450 pounds. He's a big dude. Now, he might not have been that heavy, but he was big, dude. And he he tried to, like, I guess, smack me in my chest like a Ric Flair. I guess that was what he was attempting to do, and he's been talking this up, pretty much every time I've seen him. Talking about assaulting me. And I would just laugh at him and ignore him. But anyway, this night, he's all messed up. I don't know what he's on. I know he's on alcohol because he's got beer in his hand. But anyway, I'm talking to her uncle-in-law, and, going over the van and all that. I'm laughing, telling him thank you. And, like I said, he goes to Ric Flair me in my chest, and I just brushed it off, because he's like to the side of me, and I'm facing forward talking to this guy. And when he hit me, I was just like, get out of here, man. Like, I didn't feel any force from it, I didn't even have a mark. But he was so pissed off. He went ranting in a circle. Ain't no fucking way. When I smack somebody, they come off their feet. There ain't no way this little twig motherfucker. I just turned and looked at him like, son, you mother. And Tiffany grabbed a hold of me. And she was like, no, he's not stable. You can't do that. I said, he just assaulted me. She's like, yeah, but he didn't do anything. I said, that's not the point. And her uncle-in-law just started laughing, and He's like, not this one. You might have got the other ones, but you didn't get him. I said, what are you all talking about? And that's when her uncle-in-law told me. He said he was trying to knock you off your feet with that because that's his like thing that he does to people. He thinks it's fun. I was like, really? I said, well, that's funny because I didn't even move. And that, I was just trying to play back that I'm rough. And oh, dude, that pissed him off. I said, well, next time hit me harder. Motherfucker, I'll knock you here. I'm like, well, only here an opportunity, bro. That's when he just started cussing, walked down the driveway, up onto the deck, cussed at me a little bit more, and then went in the house. I was like, all right. Yeah, Tiff couldn't believe it either. Her eyes got fucking as big as silver dollars, man. Yeah, I was driving the van home and she was in there with me and she was like, yeah, you didn't feel that? You didn't feel nothing? I said, no. I said, I mean, I felt somebody, put their hand on my chest, but I didn't feel no, motion from moving or, him trying to, like, force me or any type of force like that. I mean, it literally felt like somebody took a pillow and just a little bit harder than a pillow, but just I don't know. I didn't feel it. But yeah, like I said, I don't know how many more I'm gonna be doing. I might see some things and think that I need to stop doing that because every video I put up, YouTube makes money, Google makes money, and all those people that own those have been caught in this, all of them. And the more I've talked about it, the more they've been messing with my account. It was glitching and almost disappeared a couple of times today, and it just really pissed me off. Uh, and it was because of what I'm talking about. And I know that's why they put this all out here. I know they did. Because that's why they put all the Patriot Act stuff in play just before smartphones came out. And then shortly after they were out, they put in the extensions and then made them better, like really, really good as far as what they want to use them for. Of course, they make a mess up for us, so that's another way to get money. Either get us to switch to another phone or pay for work to be done. But anyway, on a serious, I mean, 100% serious note, we have to stop living in this reality that if we get on the internet and say something, and that is not why I'm doing it, that it's magically going to make stuff stop. It's not. You're telling the bad people, and I know I'm doing it now. I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. I'm just trying to let you all know we got to handle this a lot differently. Yeah, all the badass talking y'all have done, all the, you know, saying you're this, you're that, you're not the ones to mess with. Well, guess what? They've been messing with you, your family, your children, your ancestors, your friends for decades. This isn't something that just happened. This has been going on for a long time. And I don't know if anybody's noticed, but 2017 was almost 10 years ago. Yeah, next year it'll be 10 years since 2017. A whole decade. Whew. I'm serious. That felt like less than 5. Just saying how it felt, but the number says that it's almost 10 years since 2017. That means we have after next year we have 2 years And it'll be 10 years since COVID and all that. That's insane to me. But yeah, this is how much they keep us so distracted. That time is just flying so fast. I swear when they turned CERN on, they must have skipped a couple of days. And even CERN, did you all see that? They put an apology letter up saying that they had accidentally went into like 5 or 6 different realities. Yeah, that's what they said. And that they were apologizing for it. Now, I didn't get to read all of it. I should have, but I was just jumping around. And I don't know the source, but something's telling me that that might be right. Well, that's another thing that Good Book says. I mean, I know we can apply the veil will be lifted to a lot of things, truth being known, all that. That is one veil, yeah, but if you really pay attention, there's a lot of veils out there because of how many different, small. I'm not saying small as in the situation is small, I'm saying, small as and there's so many bad things out there. Just like on a computer screen, you got to make them smaller so everything fits in. You know what I mean? That type of small, as in smaller box to put it in so you can fit more in the screen type deal. Not that the situation inside that small box is a tiny or not that big of a deal to deal with. They're huge deals actually. They're some of the biggest. Also, what I've noticed is it's funny. It brings me back to the Good Book again. That in heaven it says that little things, you know, just like telling somebody how their day is, or taking something off their garment, or just small gestures of kindness are praised. Like pretty much they like go nuts and have celebrations over every little nice thing that is done. That's just something I've heard. And I don't know about you all, but I know when I do something that most people consider good, or you know out outstanding, or so great that it's out of the normal great stuff or whatever. It's just the way they act about it. It makes me feel weird. I mean, yeah, it makes me smile and all that, but it also makes me feel like I shouldn't be letting them do that because it's just normal. That's what you're supposed to do. But like I said, heaven's that way too. What we take as normal might be really great to them. So maybe that's it. I don't know. Kind of showing us how, through their small little windows how it's going to be. Yep, even the ones I don't agree with and that I fight with, and even want to give them some character. The only reason I want to do that is so you understand and have respect. That's it. And I know most of them are probably thinking the same thing. But I assure you, I am on the good side of those things, no matter how they try and show their point of view. Their point of view is a fantasy versus reality delusion. Pretty much what we're running into with videos and everything on the internet nowadays. That's what I mean. I know it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Everything about it is awesome. All the visuals and everything. But um, Lucifer is also a light bearer. Not a good light bearer, but you know, um, that's where Illuminati comes from. The name. What does your phone do? Illuminate, right? Yeah. I know it's not my fault, but I know a lot of people, even though I'm conditioned to saying bad things, I know they're not. So even though you're probably not going to get this from the people that have been doing this, I'm sorry for what you've seen they have done. I'm sorry for all the emotional grief that you're going through, just trying to figure out what's going on so you can get these kids some help. I seen one thing that said don't dig deep in the Epstein files because you'll lose your soul or your soul is at risk. Um, that is true, but every video we watch, every time we indulge in anything like we're already doing, um, that takes place. So it's already done. I love you. I do. I don't agree with half of you, even the ones that are mixed up in this Satan stuff. The ones I don't are the ones that are actually committing murders and torturing people and doing sexual acts and things like that. Y'all have a good one.